When I say that service in Kyiv's restaurants is incredible, I mean just that.
Wow, I did not expect to see a huge hat.
I kept on dreaming of Kyiv while living in New York.
Moscow is a sole successor of Kyiv and Rus.
Well, this wasn't really planned, but I like the way this day is going.
Welcome to Kyiv, the heart of Ukraine, and in my humble and totally unbiased opinion, the best city in the world. Being Ukraine's capital, Kyiv isn't just a city. It's where centuries-old history meets the pulse of modern life. It's a city where ancient cathedrals stand alongside cutting-edge art scenes, and where resilience and reinvention are felt in every corner. Since the days of Kyiv and Rus to today, Kyiv has always been a cradle of change. Having grown up here, I am thrilled to take you on the journey through this remarkable city. Together we'll check out iconic landmarks, visit vibrant neighborhoods, savor incredible food, and see how despite the war, Kyiv continues to live to the fullest possible. Located in north-central Ukraine, Kyiv is the capital and the largest city of the country. With over 1,500 years of history, the city has withstood the Mongol invasion, Nazi occupation, Soviet repression, and now Russia's full-scale war, emerging stronger each time. As a city that was the epicenter of multiple revolutions, Kyiv has shaped Ukraine's future time and time again. Today, it's a vibrant metropolis where Golden Dome cathedrals meet modern innovation. From art and music scenes to tech startups and a dynamic culinary scene, Kyiv remains a hub of creativity, even in wartime. For centuries, Russian propaganda claimed that Moscow is a sole successor of Kyiv and Rus, even falsely claiming that the capital was moved from Kyiv to Moscow. And even though historians agree that not a single modern state, neither Ukraine, Russia or Belarus, can be a sole successor of Kyiv and Rus, there are no disputes about the key city of this medieval state. Kyiv was and remains the cradle of Eastern Slavic civilization, and St. Sophia Cathedral stands as a testament to that legacy, an unbroken line between modern Ukraine and its ancient past. Built in the 11th century, during the height of Kyiv and Rus, this architectural masterpiece has witnessed rise and falls of empires and survived countless wars and invasions. And just like Ukraine itself, it is still standing. When Mongols devastated Kyiv in 1240, St. Sophia was damaged and robbed, but still left standing along with just a few other monuments. But it wasn't until the 17th century that it was revived, gaining its current Cossack Baroque style. The 20th century posed new threats. Under the Bolsheviks, the cathedral narrowly escaped demolition during their anti-religion campaign, though every treasure not plastered to the ceiling was plundered. During World War II, when Nazi forces reached Kyiv, the cathedral was looted once again. And now, St. Sophia, which is one of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites, faces new threats from Russia's aerial attacks. Walking through its halls, it's easy to feel the weight of history from a time when Kyiv was a powerful center of Eastern Orthodoxy and a beacon of education and culture. The cathedral houses the largest preserved collection of mosaics and frescoes from that era. One of its most famous features is the mosaic of Virgin Mary, with her arms raised in protection over Kyiv. Legend has it that these mosaics are indestructible, fitting considering their survival throughout centuries. It's just incredible to see all the colors, and with light bouncing from the frescoes, it looks like they're moving and they're alive. I mean, they've been here for so long. It's incredible that they still are as bright and vibrant. If you are as lucky as I am, you might stumble upon a modern exhibit when visiting the cathedral. I think it's Easter eggs. That's so cool. Isn't it crazy that humans can make this and also bombs? I mean, all of this energy, all of this creative power could be used for good, could be used to make beauty, to make cathedrals like this that will stand for thousands of years instead of destroying. But I guess that's what Ukrainians are trying to do. We're trying to create while Russians are just trying to destroy. Kyiv has numerous monumental sites that reflect its centuries-long history. While I can't show you all of them, there is one, arguably the most significant site in the history of independent Ukraine, that I just cannot skip. We're at Maidan Nezalezhnosti, or Independence Square, the heart of Kyiv and the epicenter of Ukraine's fight for democracy and freedom. This square has witnessed 3 revolutions, driven by desire to break free from Russian influence and embrace a future with democratic values. All of them have shaped modern Ukraine. The Revolution on Granite was a peaceful student-led protest in Kyiv, calling for Ukraine's greater autonomy from the Soviet Union. Students camped in the city's central square and began a hunger strike, demanding political reforms that challenged Soviet rule. After 16 days, the government conceded to their demands, marking the first time Ukrainian protests successfully defied Soviet authority, setting a stage for Ukraine's eventual independence. The Orange Revolution began when Ukrainians stood against electoral fraud in the race between Viktor Yanukovych and Viktor Yushchenko. Massive protests led the Supreme Court to annul the results and order a rerun. Yushchenko's victory was seen as a triumph for democracy and Ukraine's fight for a free and transparent electoral process, though political challenges remained in the years after. The Euromaidan Revolution, or the Revolution of Dignity, was more than just a reaction to the President Yanukovych's refusal to sign an association agreement with the EU in favor of closer ties with Russia. It was a rejection of authoritarianism and corruption, reflecting Ukraine's long-standing struggle for democracy. Initially peaceful, the protests escalated into violent clashes when government forces tried to disperse activists by force. At the revolution's culmination, law enforcement opened fire against unarmed protesters. By late February 2014, over 100 protesters, known as the Heavenly Hundred, were killed, and Yanukovych fled to Russia. Though Ukraine succeeded in securing a pro-European future, Russia retaliated by annexing Crimea and launching a war in eastern Ukraine, culminating in the full-scale invasion of 2022. I wasn't even born when the Revolution on Granite happened, and the Euromaidan Revolution affected me deeply, but as a 14-year-old, I couldn't really grasp the impact of the protest back then. So I'm meeting with Alexei Kovzhun, a media analyst, political consultant, and a long-time Kyiv resident who has seen the city and country evolve through these significant moments.
Ми всі безпосередньо знаємо про наслідки кожної з революцій, яка відбулася тут, на Майдані. Як вони вплинули на сучасну Україну у більш широкому сенсі?
Насправді, те, що відбувалося на Майдані і в 90-ті, і на початку 2000-х, і Революція Гідності, це такі ступені, які ракета на ім'я України відстрілювала, тікаючи від Совєтського Союзу. І це такі формотворчі моменти, бо без, скажімо, мовного Майдану, який був там, біля Українського дому, не було б Революції Гідності, а без підготовки, без навички взаємодопомоги під час помаранчевого Майдану, знов-таки не було б Революції Гідності, або вона була б неуспішною.
Для України, можливо, найбільш переломним моментом це була саме Революція Гідності. Що її відрізняє від попередніх революцій?
Якщо помаранчевий Майдан – це був посвятницький ритуал, коли населення посвячували в громадяни, то тут був момент, коли ти перероджуєшся в тому самому тілі, коли ти приходиш усміхненою, веселою, позитивною, доброю, милою людиною, і в кінці ти маєш навички бійця, ти знаєш, як звучать кулі, коли вони свистять над вухом. І оцей еволюційний процес, як змінювалась сама революція, як ми змінювалися всередині неї, це, мені здається, дуже важлива історія. І я думаю, що без цієї події ми б не встояли в 14-му, і ми точно не встояли в 22-му. Насправді, чому мене ще навчили Революції Гідності, це тому, що коли ти вдома дивишся трансляцію в комп'ютері, в тебе відчуття жаху, і ти розумієш, що відбувається якийсь тотальний жах, і тобі страшно. І потім ти збираєшся, приїжджаєш сюди, а тут офігенно. Тут одне одному посміхаються, тут тобі пропонують якісь сендвічі, ти зустрічаєш якихось знайомих, ти знайомишся з незнайомими. Окей, кулі свистять, але тут було таке море любові насправді.
Революція Гідності стала таким великим поштовхом, щоб ми почали загринатися глибше в тому?
Щоб ми почали повертатись додому, щоб ми почали розуміти, що наше, що не наше, щоб ми собі вибудували моральний компас. Те, не те, наші, не наші, хочу, не хочу, моє, не моє.
А що для вас зараз означає Майдан Незалежності?
На жаль, свіжі асоціації з Майданом сумні, але знов-таки, мабуть, це місце, воно є дзеркалом масової свідомості українців. Воно буває веселим, я пам'ятаю Майдан веселим, я пам'ятаю Майдан розлюченим, і зараз ми маємо справу з скорботним Майданом.
В якому сенсі Майдан – це є серцем Києва, це є серцем України, і воно болить?
Абсолютно. Абсолютно.
The Euromaidan revolution gave an impetus to self-discovery and a cultural revival that transformed Ukraine from a country that everyone seemed to be trying to leave to a country that booms with creativity and ideas and takes self-ownership. This transformation is especially evident in Kyiv's arguably coolest neighborhood, Zoloti Vorota, or the Golden Gate.
Over the past decade, this area has transformed into a place where trends are born. Historic buildings have been repurposed and new projects have revitalized old spaces, becoming an inspiration for the entire city.
This area has some of Kyiv's coolest restaurants, shops, and people. A significant contribution to this area was made by Swiss filmmaker Mark Wilkins, who, after falling in love with Kyiv, moved here in 2017, opened an art gallery and co-founded a gastronomic space.
You lived in New York and in Berlin for quite a long time. Why did you choose to move and stay in Kyiv? I mean, not many people would choose Kyiv over New York.
Kyiv is a city where old and new is merging like in no other city in the world I ever visited, and I visited many cities in the world. I'm lucky as a filmmaker to, travel a lot. Kyiv is a super old city, way over 1,000 years. And then there's this like super great contemporary culture, a new generation of people who give a very, very modern vibe to the city.
Yeah.
And this is what Kyiv is about,
Fusion.
the fusion of an Asian European city coming together with a very progressive young community. That's absolutely since Maidan. Before Maidan, it was, all of my friends wanted to leave. I came to Kyiv the first time, I think 2007, and it was, it was nice and fun, but all of my friends were dreaming to live in Berlin and New York and Paris. They wanted to leave. They felt that there is absolutely no sense of ownership. Then Maidan happened. And Maidan for me was the moment when I understood I want to be in Ukraine. I want to live in Kyiv. I felt so inspired by this history in the making, by the people who are risking their lives to
Make a change.
Make a change and to define their future and turn their future into a good future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kept on dreaming of Kyiv while living in New York.
And now
I
you're
rented
here.
myself an apartment in this street because this street, Rejewska Street, is a very special street. Naked Room is a gallery which is representing contemporary artists, and has a little bookshop and a cafe, wine bar. And at the moment, as there is Fashion Week in Kyiv,
Yes.
the first Fashion Week since the full-scale
I know.
invasion, which
Feels very special.
Amazing, that we are, continue living and continue our dreams. So there's a fantastic hat designer, Ruslan
Baginski, yeah.
and he is at the moment doing a pop-up show at the Naked Room.
Beautiful.
So it's beautiful. Ruslan is so talented.
He is.
I mean, he is really he's creating the coolest hats, and I think he's conquering also kind of Hollywood and New York.
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's one of those names that are definitely pushed outside of Ukraine and breached that gap.
But you can already sense a little bit, what we did here with the Naked Room.
Yeah.
I think there in the doorway, you see it's raw, it's naked. That's why it's called the Naked Room.
I was curious.
Yeah, this is like a very old, Soviet parquet and this green on the wall is like the old, paint which was put there 50 years ago, and we wanted to show the visitor, the layers of history, the scars of the space, and invite the artist to dress the space. So the Naked Room is always
I
being
love
dressed.
that. Wow, I did not expect to see a huge hat.
Yeah, there's a huge Ruslan hat. We still look for the giant who can wear it.
You've invested into the cultural scene in Kyiv, and how do you see art and culture, I guess, influencing Kyiv, especially during the war? Like, do you feel like it's important? Do you feel like it's the right time for people to focus on art?
Art and culture is what makes us human. If we don't care about art and culture, there's no reason, to fight for survival. A society, nation, freedom is based on culture. And especially when you are attacked, when you are at war, you need to take care of culture. And this is what Russia wants to destroy, Ukrainian culture. So it's, in a way, a wonderful way to piss off
resistance.
Russians, to kind of like create a lot of beautiful, powerful, deep culture despite the war. So now we hear this generator, right? This boom, 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 boom sound of generators, because they are destroying our power plants, our energy infrastructure, because they want us to stop.
They want us to be in the dark.
And they want us to be in the dark, and culture is light and brings light to life. So I think culture is incredibly important, especially in war times. It's a nice example of how things are often on the edge. This little gray building here is a highly illegal building. Some guy with some connection to the city government
Just decided to build
years ago, build around the tree, the tree.
Oh, I actually never noticed it.
It's decorated by the Feldman sisters, some very cool Ukrainian street photographers, street artists.
Yeah.
And there's a little photo window. Here you can bring your analog film, and they develop it and send you the scans of the film to your emails. But here it's a circle.
Yes.
This is the project I'm most proud of, probably, or let's say the biggest project.
I don't know, walking around Kyiv, and just enjoying all this stuff, you kind of forget about the war unless the generators and stuff. When the full-scale war broke out, did you want to leave? Were you scared?
And my wife and I, we planned to stay in Kyiv. We kind of prepared ourselves, generator, kind of survival kit, and we didn't have our getaway bag like most of the people had a getaway bag, so that you can immediately run if you need to run. But we did not, because we thought we were going to stay here. But then, when they started to shoot the missiles at Kyiv, we woke up and we kind of changed our decision. Within 5 minutes, we grabbed our stuff, grabbed our suitcases, our dog, jumped into the car, and drove out of Kyiv. And drove to Berlin. It took us 48 hours, or actually we were sleeping in Warsaw, and then came to Berlin and stayed one night in Berlin. And we realized we cannot stay here. It's impossible to just be in Berlin and check the news and write some Facebook posts and then hope things are okay. We need to do something. We need to help as volunteers. And we moved back into Ukraine. And it was really weird because it was the 5th day of war, and the border crossing from Poland into Ukraine was at a 40 kilometers traffic jam, cars trying to get out, and we were the only car, driving back in.
Oh, that must have been so bizarre.
The police was even
who are you?
Lost, you're
in Ukraine.
Yeah, this is where we want to go. All right. And since then, except for the birth of our daughter, my wife we got pregnant. And we decided to give birth in Switzerland, my homeland, just, in case the Russians like to
bomb that particular night.
Bomb hospitals. And we didn't want to give birth in a hospital which is being bombed. So, we went to Switzerland. But after 3 months, when our daughter was 3 months old, we came back to Kyiv.
Do you think we just kind of got used to it, so it's not as scary anymore, or just...
I think it's a survival mode, I think we need to survive. We cannot freak out, because you don't want Russia to win. You don't want Kyiv to win. You just move through and you try to help the army as much as you can and move civil life as forward as you can and pay taxes as much as you can,
How do you see our future?
I see our future glorious and very creative. I think the war, beside all the terror and nightmares and trauma it brought to Ukraine, it also opened the door to the world. I think that Ukraine was really not on the world's map before the full-scale invasion, and
it's just really sad.
The world had no idea who the Ukrainians are. There was this. I think people always thought this is like some
post-Soviet territories,
some kind of old people with ladas and picking potatoes, drinking vodka.
Of course,
this is a little bit the image. But now suddenly the whole world sees it as actually a super cool, creative, brave, resilient.
I really hope that's how people see us. I really hope that people are starting to see Ukraine beyond, just war and, these people who are suffering, and starting to see Ukraine more for what we know it, more for what we see, this creativity, this innovation, this beauty, this history, just all of it.
But this already happened, right? The world sees it. It's the question is now, do we, how will the war end? And I think the most important thing is that the war ends in a way that we can be sure that Russia will not attack us again.
Вмію як хобі, але не вмію як майстер. Ну що, напевно,
If you understand Ukrainian language and listen to my interviews attentively, you probably notice that I make silly mistakes. While living abroad for 8 years, I started to forget bits and pieces of my own language. So I rediscover Ukraine while traveling the country, but I'm also rediscovering Ukrainian language while doing pretty much anything, thanks to Ukrainian Lessons podcast. With quick 20-30 minute lessons, it fits perfectly into my day, no matter what I'm doing, commuting, working out, or getting ready for my day. And the best thing is, there are different podcast seasons that suit different levels of knowledge, including the beginners. You can listen for free and even try premium features, like transcripts, word lists, grammar tables, and exercises. Head to ukrainianlessons.com or click the link in the description to dare to learn the Ukrainian language. And me, I'm getting back to exploring Kyiv.
Kyiv is a food lover's paradise. Within just one block, you can find a huge variety of restaurants offering you different cuisines. But what truly sets Kyiv food scene apart is not just delicious food, it's attention to detail and incredible service. Being a foodie and a Kyiv local, I could fill an entire episode with recommendations on where you should eat when visiting Kyiv. But we're gonna do something else. We're gonna take you to 5 of my favorite restaurants to show you what incredible food and service you can get for around $20.
In most places, you will see QR codes on the tables. By scanning those, you can access the menu, leave reviews, connect to Wi-Fi, and even pay. It's incredibly convenient.
So this pizza is called Kyiv LA, which I love. And I don't know, it's really cool to eat a New York style pizza in Kyiv. Pizza is not the only reason why you should visit this place. The restaurant is located right next to the bicycle track, or the velo track in Ukrainian, and you get an amazing mural, and just this place is full of energy. There's a bunch of people hanging out here with their children, with their dogs, with bicycles obviously. But I mean, pizza is also really, really good here.
Так, ви відкриті до експериментів. Добре.
Я хочу відчути себе в Грузії.
В Грузії? Так. У нас є чудове червоне домашнє вино.
Ой, домашнє вино червоне, давайте, звісно.
Чому б ні? Гострі перчики, пансанеле з сезонними томатами і 4 хінкалі мікс з аджикою вже починаємо готувати.
Чудово, дуже вам дякую, я готова плакати від щастя. Well, that was very easy. I didn't even have to look at the menu.
As I've mentioned before, the service in Kyiv's restaurants is next level. And when it comes to celebrations, well, they really go all out here.
Дякую вам дуже. Ого!
Це щоб не замаститися нашими соковитими хінкалями.
Well, I guess now I'm actually ready to eat. That is delicious. Big boy croutons. I'm speechless. It wins all the everything. It wins everything. This is amazing. I could probably finish all of this. I probably will.
having the time of my life. This is delicious. This is delicious. The sushi are amazing. I mean, you probably don't come to Ukraine looking for sushi, but maybe you should, because at least at this place, the design is fabulous. The music is awesome. I just really like how everything comes together and makes it a wholesome, amazing experience. It's very spicy. Let's give it another try now that I'm ready for that. Yeah, it's very good. It just was a bit shocking.
I got all my favorite Thai dishes. If you come here, make sure to try the mango sticky rice. But this restaurant offers so much more than just delicious food.
When I say that service in Kyiv's restaurants is incredible, I mean just that. I mean, this is service. Дуже дякую. Клас. Чудово. Oh my god. I don't think anything else will get better than this. And this is the first bite. Wow. That is the best dessert I've ever had. I've officially. I don't know which one of them, but one of them is definitely the best dessert I've ever had. Time to rate them in order. I still think the eclair was the best one. I like matcha, I like raspberries, the combination is amazing. Gotta be like this, I guess. Okay. Absolutely must try. Just if you like matcha, especially like I do. This one, just the presentation itself, gotta be, if not the first place, then the second place. And that one, very interesting, but a little bit too much cream cheese for me, but also just personal preference. But yeah, I'm just gonna finish this one. I am finally full. That was incredible. So, when you're in Kyiv, make sure to visit some of these restaurants, try as many cuisines as possible, and let me know which one was your favorite.
The beauty and vibrancy of Ukraine's capital can make you almost forget, if only for a moment, that this is a country at war. But pause just for 1 second, and you will feel the quiet tension that lingers even on the sunniest days. The war is never far away. So here's a little challenge for you. How many times do you think the air raid siren went off during the 5 days we spent filming in Kyiv? Write your guesses in the comments, and the first person to guess correctly will get the Kyiv Independent merch. By wearing it, you're not only supporting independent journalism, but carrying a piece of Kyiv spirit with you.
Kyiv's cultural scene is alive and resilient just like Ukraine itself. And we've come to check it out at the Vegan Weekend, an event organized by local activists, not just to promote a plant-based lifestyle, but to support Ukrainian military. At
this event, 100% of the proceeds will go towards raising 1 million hryvnias for Ukrainian military. And what's happening here today, this event, is a part of a bigger shift that's been reshaping Kyiv cultural scene. I mean, the culture of donation, the culture of small brands coming together to create something new and innovative and also support our troops. And this way we support one another, and I just want to see what's happening here today, and let's go look.
With a full-scale Russian invasion, a unique donation culture was born in Ukraine, where people of all ages, professions, and incomes see supporting the army and those affected by the war as their duty. They launch fundraisers online or as part of events, offer services in exchange for donations, or religiously make small donations every single day.
Оце другий раз я на веган-вікенді роблю фото за донат. Лізе нормально?
Лізе? Щось лізе? Якась картинка є?
Ну,
А можна зробити портрет за донат?
так, звісно. Акварелі вас буду малювати. Підходить?
Так.
Супер.
А давно малюєте за донат?
Приблизно рік ми малюємо за донат. От у нас є декілька художників, є події, типу фестивалі різні. От ми усюди намагаємося долучитися своїм портретом.
Мені дуже подобається, що в Україні є ця культура всього за донат.
Все, що виручать наш маркет, атракціони, фудкорти, кафе, воно все піде на збір того заповітного лімончика, мільйона, який розподілять між веган-пайками для військових, тому що вони досі потребують нормальну їжу, згідно своїх принципів. Також на госпітальєрів і також на 72-гу бригаду, тому що їм потрібна техніка. І це стікер, ви можете його приклеїти.
О, це дуже круто, дуже вам дякую. І ви малювали! Клас, дуже вам дякую.
I loved my pictures and drawings, but there's one more activity for donation that I had in mind.
Як ваші справи?
Як тебе звати?
Олена.
Маша, дуже приємно.
Приємно. Сідаю, обираю.
З цих?
Так.
Окей. Ой, мені дуже подобаються птахи, насправді. Давай, напевно, цю.
Я підготую декілька розмірів, можемо роздрукувати, подивитися, як воно буде лягати на шкіру. І що? І будемо шукати місце, де воно буде виглядати класно.
Чудово. I'm so excited because while I was sitting, I realized that in general, I mean, it looks really beautiful, but because of the way I was sitting, I realized that it actually looks like trident, like Ukraine's trident, which is a symbol of our country, and also, I guess, in a way, bird represents freedom. So very symbolic, and also the money that I'm going to pay for this tattoo is going to go for a donation to support our military that's ensuring our safety. Well, this wasn't really planned, but I like the way this day is going. Ow. Sometimes something painful could be also something beautiful. That is awesome. This is so cool.
This event is also part of a larger movement that's been reshaping Kyiv's cultural landscape, the rave culture. Born in the embers of Maidan, Kyiv's electronic music scene quickly became one of the most innovative in Europe, attracting top DJs and fans from around the world. Until the invasion disrupted everything.
Яка була електронна музика, електронна сцена, можливо, там після Майдану, і, знаєш, той період її швидкого росту?
З'явилося дуже багато нових музикантів. Є, по-перше, це все більш схоже на індустрію стає нарешті. Є вже якась інфраструктура, тобто і школи діджеїнга, і по написанню електронної музики, і цих шкіл прям дуже багато. Навіть в одному Києві стільки електронних музикантів, що я, мабуть, не всіх вже знаю. Майже всіх знаю, але вже деколи дивлюсь лайнап якоїсь-небудь вечірки і розумію, що я не знаю, хто ці люди, а вони прям збирають там 1000 людей, типу.
Можливо, ти мені можеш підказати, як саме змінилася саме музика в Україні за цей час?
Багато хто з музикантів вперше відчув після початку повномасштабного вторгнення, що почав досліджувати через музику свою українськість. І там досліджувати звуки, інструменти народні і якісь елементи фольку, чи використовувати українську мову в електронній музиці. Це взагалі, тобто ніколи раніше такого не було.
Я на твою думку, змінилася українська електронна сцена з початком?
Було 2 етапи. По-перше, в клубній історії дуже довго табоювалось використання звукових ефектів, які можуть стригернути. Тому зараз є попередження в лайнапах, де приписка, що будуть дим, звуки дивні, щось таке. Контекст змінився. По-перше, я не чую більше російської музики, російських виконавців. Всі намагаються дуже сильно вишукувати, що підійде. Використання української музики, коли я бачу в лайнапі когось закордонного, вони саме з-за кордону приїжджають і використовують українську музику.
І це дуже круто. Яке майбутнє ти бачиш? І електронної сцени, і, в принципі, наше майбутнє?
Мені здається, наше майбутнє буде позитивним, якщо ми будемо дійсно таким займатися і будемо підтримувати це, а не засуджувати. Бо, мені здається, люди, які не підтримують це, вони просто не ходять на це, і вони тому і думають, що взагалі в клубній історії всі забувають про війну. Ні. Музика про війну. Приїжджають артисти, які на фронті взагалі знаходяться, теж це про війну. Всюди про війну. Не думайте, що війна закінчилась. Люди пам'ятають про це, просто кожен переживає по-своєму.
But even with curfews and area threats, the scene hasn't faded. It adapted. Parties now happen during the day, turning these gatherings into acts of defiance. Here, young Ukrainians, civilians, volunteers, and even soldiers returning from the front lines come together to find energy, strength, and solidarity. These gatherings provide a sense of normalcy for Ukrainians at a time that is anything but normal.
I am so incredibly proud to call Kyiv my home. While it has an ancient past, Kyiv is more than its history. It's a place where the past and present coexist in a uniquely Ukrainian way. Every street, every monument tells a story of resilience and strength. A story of people who have faced unimaginable challenges, yet continue to move forward. From the Independence Square, where the spirit of revolution remains, to the timeless beauty of St. Sophia Cathedral and a vibrant pulse of Golden Gate neighborhood, Kyiv is a city that refuses to be defined by its hardships. Even in the midst of the war's darkness, Kyiv is alive, evolving, and pushing forward. It's a heartbeat of a nation that is determined to build a future on its own terms. As I continue to rediscover Ukraine with you, I hope you see the strength and hope that define our country. I'm so deeply grateful to be protected by thousands of those who allow me to live here and share Ukraine's story with you. Everything could be so easily destroyed. So please support Ukraine. Make sure to follow the Kyiv Independent to not miss our future episodes. Like, share your thoughts in the comments, and maybe one day you'll feel inspired to dare to see Ukraine for yourself. But until then, let's keep meeting here, and I'll see you in Kharkiv.